Intuitive way of living is a way of living that you adopt when you become present. Each of us has our own flow in this life, our own path of least resistance, which also leads us to the highest versions of ourselves. And the more present you become, the more you align with that flow, the more you align with that path of least resistance, and the more intuitive you become. There are several types of intuition, which mainly can be divided into you being intuitive about yourself and you being intuitive about other people or certain events, but basically something that you perceive as external in this reality. They both have a similar logic to them because both of those feelings, both of those types of intuition originate from the same place. When we talk about your intuition regarding yourself, what you need to do, how you need to approach the day, where is your place in life, we are talking about your trust in yourself and your trust in life. That is you surrendering to the control that life has for you. You surrendering to your own flow, your own current. This is when you stop swimming against the ocean because you hook yourself onto certain ideas in your mind and you simply flowing with that current in the ocean. So when you get those intuitive insights, which manifest as synchronicity as a result, they manifest as happy coincidences. Let's say you all of a sudden decided that you have to go to that restaurant and you met a person that became a very important person in your life. Or you decided that you need to drop this project that you are working on and you had this intuitive feeling that you should be working on something else. And then it became something that became like a driving mechanism to propel you in your career. We are talking about you becoming connected to that flow. You getting certain insights, not from your head, but from that flow. That flow is the highest energetical field, highest energetical vibration, and highest here meaning the highest that you can approach. We have different levels of those energetical fields. We have different levels of the levels of consciousness, levels of love developed in ourselves. But at each point of time, you have access to flows of certain energetical fields. Let's say someone who is enlightened can have access to highest energetical fields that are generally possible. And he will feel it or she will feel it as being complete oneness in the world and him feeling that his personal I am doesn't really exist. At that level, all the separation between you and the external world ceases to exist. So you or I, for example, we may not be able to access those high states of consciousness, those high energetical fields, but we can have access to higher energetical fields that we live on a day-by-day basis. And the more you touch that, the more intuitive you become, the more present you become, and that's how you move yourself up. So for example, throughout the day, you can have different kind of thoughts. You can have thoughts that are negative when you're expressing your hatred or your annoyance towards someone. These are the manifestations of the influence of lower energetical fields. And then you can have the thoughts rooted in love, which are the manifestations of highest energetical fields. So you constantly bounce back and forward. Inside of yourself, there is a combination of those energetical fields. So you following your intuition and you aligning with the path of least resistance is you getting information from the highest energetical fields that you can have access to. This is how you move up. This is how you develop it. This is how you raise your vibration. When you align yourself with that flow, you start understanding that this is divine guidance. This is how you start perceiving whatever insights come into you. And this is how you start trusting that intuition, that flow, you surrender more and more, and you become more and more intuitive. So, intuition is a tool to be developed. The less you listen to it, right? So, when those intuitive insights come, but you block them in your mind, you say, no, I know better than that. I have to take this project even though I intuitively feel that I shouldn't be working on it anymore. But I think I have to keep working on it because logically it makes sense. Because my boss said that it's a good project, everyone believes in it, so I'm not going to listen to myself. I'm going to keep working on that project. When you do something like this, you block your intuition and you do not have those intuitive insights anymore because they don't come to you anymore. You rejected that higher energetic field. You lowered yourself. You lowered your vibrations. So now you hear yourself less. So, what I'm saying is that each one of us has the intuition built in. It is something that we all have as humans, and it is something that we all have access to once we become ourselves. But few people actually listen to that guidance. And the majority of people are so buried underneath their thoughts, underneath their ideas of how things should unfold, underneath their logic, in fear and anxiety, that they simply do not listen to that voice. So, intuition is to be developed by listening to it, by catching it, by becoming present. How intuition is felt? First of all, intuition is felt from the grounded place. The more grounded you are, the higher vibration you have. Because when you're grounded, you align yourself with the world. You become yourself. You stop separating your mind from your body, meaning that you don't have these ideas of how things should unfold. When you're present, when you're grounded, you see the world through your own eyes. So you become rooted in your body. So intuition is felt more and more the more grounded you become. The way that intuition is perceived through your body is through that magnetic pull that you have. You kind of, it is very hard to explain in words, but you kind of feel this heaviness towards a certain activity, towards a certain place that you have to go, towards certain things that you need to do. You feel that pull. And what will happen, and you will be able to track it once you're absolutely present, is you will have this warmth guiding you towards that thing that you should be doing right here and right now for your highest good. So, for example, if you're talking about a certain place that you need to go to, when you move away from it, you will feel less grounded in yourself. But when you approach it, you will feel more grounded, you will feel more pulled towards that place. You will feel that warm feeling guiding you, and you will feel like almost magnetized because you're approaching the state that is the representation of your highest vibration at the moment. In the body, it will feel like an electricity. It will translate into you feeling that kind of like you're lit up by what you are doing. If we are talking about, especially if we are talking about the activities that are the most meaningful for you, right? So, for example, you're recording a video that you're very excited about and that is aligning you with your highest path. You will feel that feeling of being lit up in your body. As a result, when you connect to that flow, that intuitive flow, your path of least resistance, you will constantly feel very excited about the life. You will constantly feel like you're in love with everything that is going on because you will constantly be magnetized, you will constantly be lit up by everything that is happening to you. Because you're simply going with the flow. Your mind doesn't interfere anymore. When we are talking about intuition regarding other people, right? Intuitive doctors, for example, people who are healers, people who are psychics, what they do is they connect to the wavelengths of these people that they're treating, that they're curing, that they're talking to. They connect to the same wavelengths. So they almost kind of connect to their flow in life in terms of, to the best of their ability, mimic their energetic state and then help them or give them certain insights about their own life. When such a person who is less connected to his own intuition goes to see the psychic, what happens is that that person cannot properly read his own energetic state. He is living in the state where there is a lot of noise, where he doesn't understand what to do and he's very distracted. Usually that happens. So psychic reads his energetic field without having the same noise in his head. Psychic helps him to infer his energetic state, his own flow, in order to take the best decisions. So each time that you, let's say, got the same thought as another person, each time that you thought of the same idea as your friend did, what happens is you're connected to the same energetic field. You're connected to the same wavelengths. And this most often happens to people who are in love. Because when you're in love, you are connected to the universal state of love. You're connected with the highest vibrations of yourself. You rise up because you're in the state of love. So the state automatically happens to make this telepathy possible. And you can also see how this kind of experiences, they happen spontaneously. They happen out of the blue. You cannot plan it. You cannot logically infer what someone else is thinking or what idea comes to their mind. But when you know it, and you trust it and you spit it out, kind of. So intuition for your own self is experienced the same way. But the reason that most people don't trust it is because they're taught the truth about the world. They're taught a way of living. So they're afraid to trust it because trust in that means letting go of their own attempt of controlling their own reality and controlling what is best for them. So, in order to experience intuition, you have to become like a child, right? You have to get into a state of child, but not in terms of giving up your progress, not in terms of giving up your development, but in terms of having the joy, that lightness, and that spontaneous feeling of trust in life. This is also the reason why children are so intuitive, why children can energetically tell if someone is compatible with them energetically or not, if someone is good for them or not. They can all of the sudden tell certain truths or help you to reflect on something because they do not lie to themselves. So when that feeling comes to them, they just trust it because they haven't been taught yet how not to trust it. And the more you adapt this way of living for yourself, the more intuition knocks on your door. But in order to start this whole process, you first have to trust your intuition. You first have to answer it. You first have to act on it. And the more you do so, the more you just understand that this is the way of living that brings you joy, peace, state of love, and all your highest blessings, detached from what is happening in the external reality. And the more you accelerate this whole cycle, the more you invite your intuition to you.